All right, let me ask you a quick question. How many ads have you ignored this week? 10, 20, dozens? And when I say ads, let's just expand that into ad like content or just content that wants you to do something. It could be anything from a pop up to an autoplay video to a salesy LinkedIn post or an email that pops up in your inbox once again saying, "Hey, just checking in to see if you saw this." Just stuff like that. How many times have you deleted, blocked, ignored that type of content this week? Or let's just say this month. I'm wondering, as a marketer, or if you're running a business, if you're creating content just like that. And if you're ignoring this as a consumer, as a content consumer, doesn't that mean your audience is going to do the same thing to you? I mean, what would happen right now if I stopped talking about what you came to hear and I just mentioned how real quick you just need to like and subscribe before I keep talking about what you want to hear? You'd probably just skip past it, maybe roll your eyes, or you might even leave this video in protest.
Nope, screw that.
Full disclosure, I've done that. So, as a content creator or marketer, shouldn't we consider those reactions before we create content? And if there's content or calls to action or annoying emails that I get in my inbox that I ignore, block, or delete, as a marketer, should I think about that before I create content? Yes. And it turns out this isn't just a we're busy type thing, it's really just fundamental psychology. People aren't just ignoring marketing, they're actively skeptical of it. And honestly, we've done this to ourselves. Marketing has trained audiences to expect tricks and what some might even call manipulation. They've been burned by misleading messaging, over promises, or just plain bad content. And if we expect that when we open our inboxes or scroll through social media or surf the internet, what's happening inside of our brains? Defenses are up. We're on full alert. We're ready to block attacks and fight back. We want to prove to those pesky marketers that they can't get us to look at that or watch that or click on that or buy that. It's like a reflex now. You see an ad, you dodge it. You read a promotional social post, you ignore it. We might even see a link to what looks like a helpful blog, but we choose not to click on it because the last 2 or 3 times we did that, the blog either gave us nothing or it just looked like it was completely written by AI. Here's the other thing. Another reason our brains can react so fast to this stuff is because a lot of these bad experiences and manipulative content, it's all presented in similar ways. As marketers, we copy each other, and we have a tendency to tap into old marketing science that we've known for years that creates typical marketing content that we ignore when we're at home or just not at work. And so it's time to ask ourselves, so if I don't trust this stuff when I'm the audience, why am I expecting my audience to react differently to this piece of content? So if we can agree that consumer skepticism is high, what do we do? Do we just shout louder, throw in a few more emojis, or maybe some extra exclamation points? No, it's not about being louder. I think we know that. But what it is about is being a little more self aware. Because let's be honest, if you nodded along while I talked about how skeptical consumers are, but you still plan to send out some of the same generic LinkedIn posts next week or content next week, maybe it's just time to rethink things. Because self awareness means not just recognizing bad content when we see it, but also admitting when we're creating it. Nancy Harhut, who studies behavioral science and marketing, says we are wired to fall back on familiar decision making patterns to conserve mental energy. In other words, we do what feels safe, even when it's ineffective. And Bill Bernbach warned us about this way back in 1947. He wrote a letter to people in his own agency that said, the danger lies in the natural tendency to go after tried and true talent that will not make us stand out in competition, but rather make us look like all the others. So here's what we can do. The next time we're about to hit publish on that blog or that ad, or maybe send out that email, we can ask ourselves, would I care about this if I weren't the one making it? And if the answer is no, all right, let's change course. Because at the end of the day, content shouldn't be about formulas. It's really about understanding people. And when I say understanding people, I don't mean just your audience. We hear that all the time, right? We have to understand our audience, which is true, by the way. But if we're really humanizing our content, we also have to understand us. We have to take that extra step to say, what are we doing? Why are we doing it? We also have to be aware of the human on the other side and how they may react to the content that we're about to create. When self awareness is part of our content creation process, we're not just creating content anymore, we are actually humanizing it. And that's going to help lower that cynical and untrusting barrier our audience has in their heads. And that's going to enable us to show them that we're different.